Order. Monday, October 11th, 7 p.m. Roll call.
David Paradise.
Kirby Moyna.
Sam Solars.
Jessica Bonniwell.
Jared Vogie.
Ketchum.
Wayne McCormick.
Invocation. I don't see Pastor Paul here.
I did email him.
So we will instead go to the Pledge of Allegiance. Allegiance
to the
flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I will second.
Further discussion? Mr. Solars.
Aye.
Mr. Marslick.
Aye.
Vote yes. Mr. Paradise.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Approval of the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda. I will second.
Further discussion? Mr. Paradise.
Aye.
I'll vote yes. Mr. Marslick.
Yes.
Mr. Solars.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Wright County Sheriffs.
Councilmembers there. I just highlighted a couple things that I went through today over the course of the last month. Basically, it's to remind people to lock the doors, roll up their windows, close the car door windows, put your garage down. There was two circumstances, one on Fairmont, one on First, where either people were witnessed trying to go into a garage, unknown what they were doing. Once they were witnessed, they ran off. And one has a surveillance video showing two gals, unknown, going into a car. Didn't have any loss, but wondering what they're doing going into people's cars. The window was down. A couple off-road vehicle complaints over on Breckenridge with four-wheelers and dirt bikes that we're trying to deal with. That's about it. I do remember that November 1st is the winter parking ban begins.
Yes.
So, and that's from 1 to 7 a.m., no parking on the streets. So, anything you guys have?
No? Thank you.
Thank you.
City Council.
City Council meeting, Montrose Community Dinner, Council Workshop, and Montrose Fire Department meeting.
I went to the Emmer Town Hall, 2 union negotiations at LMC training online, the council workshop, the council meeting, developers meeting, and the Wright County Mayor's Association.
We had a city council meeting, 49er union negotiations, Wright County Board of Commissioners a couple of times, Autumn Winds Development meeting, Buffalo Regional Chamber meeting, Montrose Waverly Chamber of Commerce meeting, council workshop, Wright County Board of Commissioners again, ASME union negotiations, Beyond the Yellow Ribbon, and Wright County again. That's it.
Council meeting, council workshop, and planning and zoning.
Fire Department.
Good evening, Council and Mayor. In your packet is the activity report for September. Pretty busy month with 29 calls. Just a couple of acknowledgements that I'd like to highlight. O Brothers Liquor, they had allowed us to park in their parking lot during September 11th. Everyone who stopped by honked and or waved while we stood in remembrance of those who lost their lives on September 11th, and those who donated money, food, snacks, and other treats while we stood in remembrance during 9/11. We actually received $302 in donations to our Relief Association, and we're going to be matching those funds and making a $1,000 donation to the Minnesota Fallen Firefighters Foundation. So, other thing on the agenda is a resolution, which should be included in your packet. We're looking for approval to raise our pension level from $4,500 per year of service to $5,000 per year of service. At this time, with our balance that we currently hold in para, we would have no required contribution. We continue to make contributions into it every year, as we have for many years. in the past. Going from 4,500 to 5,000 would still keep us at 109% funded in our fund. We are required by the state of Minnesota to have that fund at 100%. Otherwise, they send us a bill saying you owe this much to get you to 100%. So we feel going to this and staying at that 109% is still conservative. We're not trying to bump it up so that we're right at 100. The stock market and the economy does play into this. They figure a 6% return on our money that is held with them. And if you look at the longer average, they are pretty much right on the money. Within the last year, we've had like 22% increase, but at some point in time, things are going to change. We all know that. But we're looking for that approval to change from 4,500 to 5,000.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2021-30.
Second. Further discussion on the motion? Mr. Solars?
Aye.
Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
I'll vote yes. Mr. Marslick?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. Planning and zoning.
At our September 8th meeting, we discussed the resignation of, no, wrong page, sorry. We had a public hearing on chickens and nobody showed up in favor, so we recommended that the ordinance stands as written. And then Sylvia Henry was elected as vice chair with the recent resignation. And our Wednesday, October 13th meeting was canceled.
I will make a motion to approve Sylvia Henry as Vice Chair, Planning and Zoning.
I'll second.
Further discussion? Mr. Marslick?
Aye.
Mr. Solars?
Aye.
Mr. Paradise? I'll vote yes. Motion passes 4-0.
All right, that's it. Thanks.
Thanks, Chuck.
Thanks, Chuck.
Park and Rec.
All right. Good evening, Mayor and Council. The council met in a special workshop on September 27th to discuss the future of Park and Recreation after disbanding it earlier this year. There is a requested ordinance change and the accompanying resolution to publish a summary of the ordinance in the paper. So we just need a motion if you guys are still in agreement with changing the ordinance there.
I'll make a motion to pass ordinance 2021-05.
I will second.
Further discussion on the motion. Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
I'll vote yes. Mr. Marslick?
Aye.
Mr. Solars?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
And just to pass the summary resolution authorization.
I'll make a motion to pass resolution 2021-31.
I'll second.
Further discussion on the motion. Mr. Solars?
Aye.
Mr. Marslick?
Aye.
Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
I'll vote yes. Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, and the next thing is the approval of the Park and Recreation bylaws. The requested changes that we talked about on September 27th have been made to the bylaws, and I would just ask for a motion to approve those changes.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve the revised Park and Rec bylaws.
I will second.
Further discussion on the motion. Mr. Solars?
Aye.
Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
I'll vote yes. Mr. Marslick?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, now I just would ask that you guys just declare the vacancies and announce that we're going to start accepting applications.
We will start accepting applications for Park and Rec, and as soon as we have a full Park and Rec board, they will begin meeting again. Fish Sunflower. I don't see him here. He didn't know if he was going to be able to make it or not for sure, but he wanted to be on here just in case. He he just wanted to touch base about how things went this year with the drought and wants to discuss that he wants to come back next year as well. So I'll reach out to him again and see if he will come out here in November. Halloween decorating contest.
So you guys have all sort of agreed that you want to do the judging for the Halloween decorating contest. So we're going to post for a quorum. We just need to have a final decision on the date. I know a date of October 29th has been thrown out. So if you guys want to do it that day, that's fine, or a different day, that's fine. Then we would just ask you for like a top 3 to 5 houses that we can bring to the next council meeting to have a vote on.
Can we do 2 days, 29th and 30th, so that make sure that you get around to all the houses between like 6 and 9 o'clock on both nights, I would say.
Okay, so October 29th and 30th, and what time?
6 to 9, I think that sunset's about, what, 6:45 now?
Yeah, something like that. Okay, and then we'll also post it on our Facebook to have people put their lights on and stuff for those days. Perfect.
Okay, city engineer.
Good evening, Mayor Council. The first item in your packet this evening is related to the regional park retaining wall. If you recall, earlier this summer, there was a retaining wall constructed at the regional park. After a review on site, council directed staff to obtain pricing for extending the retaining wall and doing some additional seating and grading. Stone's Edge Landscaping, the retaining wall contractor, was contacted. They went out to the site and did review it. Their quote that they provided came back with the recommendation of not extending the retaining wall, rather adding some additional rock and landscape edging with some additional grading on the park side of the fence, and then on the east side, or the private property owner side of the fence, where some erosion concerns were previously expressed. So the quote was broken down into $1,500 for the west side of the fence, and then $1,350 for the east side of the fence on the private property. So that is the quote before you this evening. And I'll stand for any questions.
Are we going to ask how are you going to do the grass on the private property side? I mean,
If you want to come up, yeah, we can talk.
we just want to know what you're going to do for the grass and the dirt on our side.
Yeah, so the quote provided by Stone's Edge included the addition of topsoil seeding and then blanket on that east side where you had pointed out that it was an issue.
Yeah. When you say blanket, what do you mean?
Well, it's erosion control. It's erosion control so that it doesn't wash away.
Is it strings and little U-shaped wires?
Typically, that's how it's fastened to the ground, so it doesn't blow away up until the grass grows. Yep.
I know we had talked to him too when he was out there and he'd brought up too the winter seating.
Is that a possibility? Can we winter seed it instead of laying, because we don't want the metal in our yard, and we certainly don't want the dog eating the strings. It's not a place he normally goes, but something new, he's going to wander in that area, and we'd like you to try and winter seed it.
So you'd like something other than blanket over the top of it, like a mulch or something?
Well, mulch is not going to go away, is it? I mean, if I'm thinking of the same mulch that you're thinking of, I don't think mulch would be a good option back there.
Okay.
Do you know how to winter seed?
Typically, it's referred to as dormant seeding, and ultimately it needs to be done after the soil temperature is below 50 degrees.
Yep. Is that a possibility?
Currently, I mean, That's where we're at. The seeding dates have expired, so we either dormant seed it or winter seed it, whatever terminology you prefer, or wait till spring and do it then, so.
And we knew that it wouldn't get done this year, but could we try and get the dirt in and winter seed it this year? I mean,
Would they be able to get out and do the landscaping they would need to with the erosion control stuff before snow would be that bad that they couldn't do it?
Yeah, if that's a desire, we can certainly contact the contractor and get a schedule from them. I mean, if that's the goal to do the dormant seeding, then I can't speak for his schedule, but I don't think that he would be opposed to that.
would he be the one doing the seeding and the grass on our, because I know he's going to do the rock on the city side. Would he also be the one doing the work on the private property side?
Yes.
Okay.
The same contractor with both sides of the project, right?
Yes, Stone's Edge, yep.
So is that a possibility? Can we look into that?
Definitely. If you could talk to them, contact them, whatever, somebody from the city anyway, and try to do the winter seed deal, and it could at least let us know for sure if that's possible or not.
I think that if it can be done before winter, it would be a good idea, especially since it's supposed to be a very wet winter, so that would help the grass.
Basically, we just don't want the metal pieces in our yard and the string. You know, we see it in the park. It's just not pretty.
So just so I'm clear, no mulch, no blanket, just, okay.
Well, I'm not an expert on winter seeding. I don't know if it needs a mulch or a blanket. I just want it done properly.
Okay.
And Jared, is this contractor confident that this is gonna resolve the situation and the issues that we've had over there?
Yeah, you know, we sent him out there asking him to look at, or providing a quote to extend the retaining wall, and basically he came back. And I believe he had some conversations with you guys while he was out there.
He talked to us, and we don't think that the soil needs to be secured, and it's not. And you don't need to extend the retaining wall to do that. So we've talked to him, and we're okay with that. We just want to make sure our backyard gets seeded and filled in and good.
I just wanna make sure that this issue finally gets resolved, because I personally don't wanna keep spending, $2,800 a pop. And I wanna make sure that this is actually settled and that we
Well,
find
I
a
guess we'll
resolution.
find out if his idea works to keep the soil in the yard. I mean, we can't,
He looked
it
at
wasn't our idea.
He looked at it and said, it looks like things have definitely settled and moved. But add some topsoil to it and get grass going in it now should hold things up there. So he thought so. And then to do whatever you gotta do on the other side, I guess, after that.
I say we look into the winter seeding or dormant seeding, so we can kind of move that part along. That's my thought.
Yeah, if somebody could just let us know kind of where we're at,
Communication would be great.
somewhere in the near future or whatever, after we get a hold of him.
Yep,
For sure.
That'd be great.
do.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next thing is the resolution approving the purchase agreement for the acquisition of property. Do you want to talk about it?
Sure. Yeah, so good evening, Mayor, Council. The resolution in your packets this evening. We did meet with the property owners this afternoon and their attorney. They are recommending a couple modifications to the purchase agreement. First one relates to the closing costs. They've requested that the city cover the closing costs, which appears to be a reasonable request from them. The second item that they did request was the purchase price. They requested that that be increased by $5,000. So those are the two changes that they're requesting associated with the agreement. As we reviewed it with our staff and with Steve from the Evergreen Land Services that we've been working with, appears to be a reasonable request. So the resolution can be adopted with those two changes noted: closing costs, increasing the purchase price by $5,000.
I will make a motion to approve the resolution with an amendment to increase the total purchase price to $200,000 and for the city to cover the closing costs.
I'll second.
Further discussion on the motion? Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
Mr. Solars?
Aye.
Mr. Marslick?
Aye.
I'll vote yes. Resolution passes 4-0.
Mayor, Council, the next item in your packets this evening is related to the biosolids removal and disposal project. If you recall, last year, the biosolids were removed from the tank at the wastewater treatment facility, placed in large dewatering bags. They sat over the winter, and now they have been dewatered to I believe it's approximately 34% solids. Essentially what that means is now it's in a form that can be loaded and trucked away and disposed of in a landfill. We did solicit 3 quotes for that removal and disposal. We received 2 back, and the low quote was submitted by Northern Lines Contracting in the amount of $62,000. So we would recommend that council accept the quotes and award the low quote in the amount of $62,000 to Northern Lines Contracting for the biosolids disposal project.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and accept the $62,000 bid from Northern Lines Contracting for biosolids removal and disposal.
I will second.
Further discussion? Jared, my just quick question is, have we made, or maybe Wayne can answer it too, have we made or are we going to make any changes to help us prevent this type of thing going forward? Or is this just a regular occurrence that'll...
No, we're gonna be hauling. Try to get it hauled out every year or every couple of years.
Okay.
We won't end up with this problem again.
Okay, further discussion? Mr. Solars?
Aye.
Mr. Marslick?
Aye.
I'll vote yes. Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
All right, the next item in your packet this evening is related to the Autumn Winds development. John Vasika, property owner of approximately 80 acres, located west of County Road 110 and immediately south of the preserve development. John approached the city with a desire to develop that property as single-family residential, which it is currently zoned for. But his request was that the city perform the platting and design associated with the development for the project. And all the costs associated with that would be, all the costs incurred would be paid for by Mr. Vasika. There is a agreement in your packet this evening referred to as an escrow agreement that memorializes that agreement that he would be paying for all those costs associated with that. So the agreement or approval of that agreement doesn't guarantee any zoning approvals or any approvals prematurely. Rather, it just makes sure that any costs incurred are reimbursed by the applicant to the city. So I'll stand for any questions that you might have.
Is there going to be any name changes or no?
No, they're not going to change the name.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and accept the residential subdivision escrow agreement for Mr. Vasika for Autumn Winds.
I'll second that. Further discussion? Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
Mr. Solars?
Aye.
Mr. Marslick?
Aye.
I'll vote yes. Motion passes 4-0.
All right, Mayor, Council, the last items I had this evening, just a couple updates. I did speak with Knife River regarding the City Hall parking lot. They are planning to mill and then overlay that beginning on Wednesday, weather dependent. If the weather doesn't cooperate, it'll be moved back a day. But it's on their schedule and they'll be proceeding with that project soon. Second item, downtown improvements. I'm sure you've seen some activity around here. Gas company is in town relocating their facilities. So that will be done in advance of the construction, the major construction, utility construction that will occur next spring. And in addition to that, we have a televising company in town televising the sanitary sewer to ensure that all the existing services are accounted for with the new pipe that goes in. So with that, those are the updates I have this evening.
So Knife River picked the only day it's supposed to rain all day in the last 2 weeks.
Thanks, Jared.
Yep.
Thanks, Jared.
Public Works?
Last month, the resident had asked us to do a repair on the sidewalk out in Aspen, which we repaired right away the next day. So that was taken care of, and this coming spring, we'll cement it. Then I'm gonna put a park bench out there in that same area. And we also had a resident in that wanted the skating rink painted and finished up. So we've got one coat of paint on it, and it's all finished up. All it needs is one more coat of paint, and we're done. So, anything else?
Watering ban.
What's up?
Watering ban.
Well, the watering ban, we're gonna lift it.
The watering ban's being lifted.
Yeah, the state relaxed their requirements of us, so we're gonna lift it for now. And we're gonna get a bunch of rain on Wednesday, so we should be good.
Right in time for the first freeze.
Right after I blew
Glad
out
the
my.
DNR waited.
Everybody blew out their sprinkles over the weekend.
I just have a quick question. Did you get a chance over the last couple days to look at 3rd Street?
Yeah, what we're gonna do there is we're gonna put gravel, we're gonna edge it with gravel and try to fix it up so it doesn't break away anymore.
Okay. Anything else, Wayne?
Well, that should do it unless anybody's got any questions.
Okay, no old business, no new business, and no open forum requests. The next city meeting will be the regular city council meeting on November 8th at 7 p.m. All other city meetings, Park and Rec, Planning and Zoning, and EDA are canceled. Acknowledgements? I just want to acknowledge all the volunteers that signed up for the Montrose Days. They went from having 3 people to having a full committee. So I'll just acknowledge and thank them for stepping up to help with all that. And then I'd like to thank the fire department for all the stuff that they do. And of course, they showed up tonight as well. Not just for their fighting of fires, but also their willingness to step up and help the volunteer groups around the community when they need it.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I will second.
Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
Mr. Solars?
Aye.
Mr. Marslick?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. I'll vote yes. We're adjourned.